guys, welcome to the 2024 Grand Final preview. I think we've done a few of these now on the full 80, but sorely missing Mick, which is, I think Mick's on a dog walk somewhere. He did say we're going to come and do it, but he's got more important things in front of himself. But he said he will do the championship one where his heart really lies. So, be honest with you, be a lot better without Mick. And same to Sam. Enjoy your holiday, Sam. So, right, lads, we're going to kick it off. I suppose we'll start off, lads, by saying I think the playoffs has been the best playoffs I've enjoyed for many a year. I thought usually the season starts to peter off. First two playoff games usually really disappointing. But I thought this year it got more exciting. I thought the Saints clash was absolutely sensational with Warrington. I thought every game, apart from, and I hope I'm not being critical here because I spoke to Chris Chester last night, I thought the Leigh-Wigan game, I had it at 40. I thought 40. Neil Udgell actually said to me, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think it'll be 40 with 38. I thought that was a disappointing one. But as Matty said, you can't take that away from Wigan all the time. People too busy saying to people, "Oh, Wigan this and Wigan that." No, Wigan can only beat what's in front of them, and they do it quite clinically. So, thoughts, guys, first of all, on the playoffs. Joe first.
You've covered most of it. You've covered most of it as you do. It was good, fantastic. I think we had a meeting, all three of us, at an undisclosed location, because I know Dad don't like to give away his where he eats and where he hangs out. But we had a meeting together, and I was sat there, and actually, I'm going to take credit, lads. I'm the one who said to you both, I think the teams this year are very well matched. I'm excited for the playoffs, and I think them top teams will have a right go at it, and they have done. Like you said, I think that all top 5-6 teams are a lot closer than they have been in previous years. Wigan maybe that step ahead. We'll see on the final this week. That's what we'll cover. But I think in general, the teams are a lot closer. There's 5 or 6 teams there that are all very, very good standard. All on the day can beat either one of them, and I think that's what's made it exciting compared to other years when there's normally 1 or 2 that make the playoffs that you probably know aren't going to be destined for, sadly, anything special.
Brilliant. Jimmy?
Yeah, follow from what you both said, really. I think, you guys, to be fair, right at the start of the season, called that, you both confidently you'd get in the playoffs. And then once they did, I think they were always going to be a danger team, providing they kept everybody fit. And, sadly for them, that Wigan game was one step too far. But I even enjoyed that game because I thought Wigan's performance was so slick and it was so good. I enjoyed watching them in full flow, and Leigh made a fight of it for as long as they could. But yeah, I'm taking nothing away from Wigan because I thought everything we did was so impressive. And then cherry on top of the cake with Bevan's solo effort late on. I think probably most of all, I'm glad we've got this final because they are undoubtedly the 2 teams for me who deserve to be in the final, and sometimes the playoffs throw up a team coming from lower down the pecking order who just get the team fit and time it well. But I think they both deserve to be in the final. I think it'll make for the best final. They're both not a million miles away from putting their strongest teams out they possibly can. So yeah, it's set up perfectly. Love the playoffs and really excited for Saturday.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think, listen, as I say, I think I've loved the season. We can all agree on this. The best 2 teams are here. More importantly for the game, bigger than individuals, is the sport that both teams will bring. Wigan got 20,000+ in semi. OKR sold out within an hour. We tried to get some tickets for the grand final yesterday. They're saying there's only the top tier left unless you go corporate, which obviously we will be going. It's quite funny actually because we've said this OKR journey were going to happen. And we said it 3 or 4 years ago. We were a big part of it, the rebuild of it. But to get this what they've done is incredible, and massive toffee first of all for the club, and that's all aspects of the club. Unbelievable. This is a story. This is a Netflix waiting to happen. If they pull this off within 4 years of finishing second from bottom, to actually go in and win it within 4 years would be something which I don't think could happen from the stadium. I can remember Danny Maggs played one of his last ever games and said, if we don't win this, we're going to get relegated. And they got the victory. And then they went to Salford and got beat in the last game of the season, which they just stayed up. The cap was disastrous. The fans were demotivated. And it's a journey which is incredible. I keep thinking about the brand of rugby they play with Willie. Willie's got this. We were lucky enough. I don't know if you went, Jimmy. Me and Joe went to watch him train, I think, at the start of the year. I don't know if Joe did come with me. It was sensational. It was so intense. It just stepped it up gears and gears and gears. And they had a lot of staff. They had a lot of S&C. They've only played 26 players this year, they say. It's one of the least, it's crazy stats. That's because they spent millions and thousands on the S&C. They've got staff. And he also toughened the bodies up. He said pre-season he wanted to get them match fit. He's certainly done that. The Wigan journey. Matty Pete, there's another story there. There is a Netflix on Wigan happening. I hope I haven't said that out of turn. There is something happening behind the scenes, which is going to be filmed. What's happening now? And I think that'd be great because Matty Pete's doing something here, which is for a rookie coach with a 9-year history at the club, 15-year history, and then going into first team. If he gets this, this will be a double-double.
No, what it is it's if they win the grand final. Oh, Jimmy, are you with us?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there was that. I think if they win this, it means that they win all 4 major trophies at one point, and I don't think that's ever been done in a calendar year or in a row. So I think they're on for history here because they're on the quadruple, I believe.
John, I'm getting a bit of noise from yours. I don't know if it's near a mic or it's like really.
Yeah, is it mine?
Yeah, it's a great stat, that, Joe. I agree completely.
Yeah, calendar year quadruple. Yeah, that's what we're going for. World Club, Challenge Cup, League Leaders, and Grand Final. Yeah,
sensational. And some of the things Matty shared with me about what they're going to do it next 3 years at that club is just something out of it. You're talking Man City job. So they're building, not just for now, they're building for a legacy. So this could be a legacy build here. Guys, the bookies will have Wigan favourites.
Yeah.
I'd say by 6, maybe 8, maybe 4. Yeah. It'll be in between, depending on where you are. I'm only guessing there, but I'm usually not far off. I think that's fair. And I think if you look at the way they've played each other in the past, KR got that victory this year, which is giving a lot of KR fans in the Super League. Everyone's saying they've got a hell of a chance here, but then Wigan to put them to the sword. Last time out, scarily put them to the sword. So
we always 4 points.
Yeah, but I thought they all opened the gate with the one before. Sorry, Jim, they put them to the sword. And then the last game,
Cup semi-final.
Then they've said that the sending offs caused a thing of the game in this. The sin binnings caused the team. I think they made so many breaks within the 10 minutes they were off, or the 20 minutes. I think both coaches, and I'm lucky enough to speak to them personally, I think both coaches are going into the game confident. I think that's different for a grand final. I think sometimes you go in and you go, did we really think they were going to take these on? I think both teams think they can win this. That's what's going to make it even more exciting, that both teams have got an ultimate belief, and both fans. And I'd say Super League, I've had about 10 phone calls this morning. 9 of them said we're going to win, which is what people do. They just state the obvious. We're going to. And I think we need to be better than that. So I'm going to throw it to you, lads. We think there'll not be many changes. There might be a change of getting Elliot Minichella back in, which you'd say is absurd. I hope that doesn't affect Jack Brown, but I think it might. I mean, I'm not. We're praying for Show Me, so we're on Brownie's list, or one of the others off the bench, and it's whether they bring Gildart in for Broadbent. But guys, Joe first, sell it to us. Sell us OKR, guys. Tell us why OKR can win this.
That's a challenge. No, I think Hull KR can win this, but I would go with the Mavericks. Obviously, you've got Mikey there, and Mikey had a very steady semi-final, very safe, very like you said, very steady. No, not many mistakes. Played to the book, nice box kicks. I'm hoping it's got to be Mikey's job, isn't he? He's probably going to get Man of Steel. He's probably
That's tonight.
What?
That's Tom tonight.
Yeah, well, he's probably going to get Man of Steel. We find out tonight. I think he's got to explode the pack. You've got the pack which can go toe for toe with each other. That's going to be some battle. Like I said, you've watched Dean Adley the last 2 or 3 games just absolutely cement himself as a playoff hero. KR, hope all the fans are buzzing about the way Dean's played. Like I said, you've got Minchella back. I think the pack's fairly equal. You've got Hiku there. You've got, like you said, I just, it's going to be close. I don't see an obvious line where either one can win. I think they've both got the Mavericks. They've both got the pack. Finishing ability. You probably
we'll do Wigan next, Jay. We'll do Wigan next. Just KR. This is the KR bit. 5 minutes on. Just let's give the KR fans a bit of hope where we think they're going to go. You know, if you think they're going to go on the right edge, Weirku, May, we want Magic Mikey. You know, where I think let's get them fans buzzing and putting a bit of full 80 on, saying, hey, you know what, this is it. So I think you've said there a poignant one. Mikey, did he play to the system? Mikey played to the system last week. He took his own ego out of it and just did kick chase and completion. I think he only ran the ball twice, which is very unlike Mikey. You'd have thought he'd have done 9 or 10 times and tested him. It'll be interesting because where they've got KR usually, you know, you'd think I'm other way, you know, guys. Sorry, Jimmy, I'll bring you in a minute. I think that May's a match winner. You know, he's like Mikey. They've got May. I watch him play and I can't see any pattern to his play. Mikey does all the finishing of the kicks. May doesn't do anything. He just kick chases Mikey's. He's up in the air. He's there. He's making it seem busy. He plays a bit off the cuff. Very hard to coach. He's May. So I think a lot of pressure will be on Mikey to get into the arm wrestle. But I have a feeling it'll be May. You know where I'm interested, lads? I don't know what you think. And Jimmy, I'll put it on you. You know, Parcell and Jez.
Yeah.
You'd have said the best double act. But Jez is getting less minutes every week. He's down to 8 minutes in the semi-final, which, you know, is heart-wrenching for him, but he's putting the team first again. Can they get the ruck going quicker than Wigan, Jimmy?
Well, that's what I've got written down. I'll just quickly on what Joe said. I think, I spoke to an Hull KR fan this morning and I said, Mikey could be going into that game with, the crown as Man of Steel. Does that add a bit more pressure on young shoulders? But we know what he's like. He'll embrace it. Will he have, his words were, I don't see Mikey having as quiet a game in the final. And, like you've said there, he did his job in the semi, whereas in this final, for KR to win it, Mikey's probably going to have to do something special, or Tyrone is, and we'll see. But what I've got written down is what you've just said there. I think the only area where KR are stronger than Wigan is the pair of hookers. I personally would swap Parcell and Jez for Cruz and Tom Forber any day if I were a Wigan fan. Now, Wigan are without Brad O'Neill. I think he's a huge loss. He's probably the player in the first half of his season who impressed me more than anybody. I didn't know he had so much in him. And on the back of that World Club Challenge performance, I was like, fair play. That game alone proved to me what he is. And, I think he's a huge loss for him. I think Parcell and Jez could be the secret. And you know what it's like in these big games? A lot of the time people look at the star men. I'm sure all the media build-up will be Mikey v Bevan, and it'll all be about those halves. But in these big games, it often comes down to the nines and how well they control the ruck, whether they go at the right time. And that's where I think Hull KR beat Wigan in that area, and that area alone. So for them to win it, for me, they get the first try and they control the ruck with Parcell. I'm sure Jez will get a lot more minutes in this game I think that's the key.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Jim, because his last 6 or 8 games, apart from when he played half Jez, I think that Parcells, and sometimes you have to take a bit on chin if Parcells playing as well as he is. It's hard. Willie historically doesn't like to bring substitutions on. If the game is like Brian Mack, if he sees the game going well, he won't bring a Brian Mack famously did it in loads of big games where he just used one sub or two. Or Willie's very reluctant, and if you look, Jack Brown only got. I think Brownie come on, got about 7 minutes through offload. I said to our Joe, he's just through an offload. We've had it here. Next, he's walking past it like, oh no. The hookers can't win me out of the pack. Can Hull KR's pack meet the ferocity, Joe, of the Wigan pack? Who's your money on in the middle?
I covered it when I said I think it's the most fair matchup. I think KR probably have a bit more ball playing in their pack. They run a lot of sets. They run a lot of shape just right in the middle. Like you said, Sue hits a lot of crash balls. You've got Minchella doing his passing. You've got Dean, who's got a good set of hands and obviously brilliant defensively. I think Wigan probably win on pure size. I think KG v KG, Wigan probably had the size matchup. But I think in terms of talent and the overall package, it's a very, very evenly matched pack. And yeah, excited to that's probably.
You'd say, Joe, wouldn't you? I'd say that Luke Thompson, you'd say that Bernie, you'd say that the others there they run the ball in with some absolute ferocity. I don't think that you're right. I think KR style's not that. I think KR is happy if they don't drop the ball, they don't offload, but they get quick plays and they get the hookers in, they get them quick plays. Your back five, you'd have to say Ryan Hall and Burge are as good a carriers as anybody in the comp at the moment. I think Ryan's good for 150, 170 at least. So is Burgess. Hiku, probably not. Probably coming out of his own yardage, not Hiku's game. Gildart, I'd be interested if Broadbent Gildart. I think there's little competitions everywhere, but I think if they can get Ryan Hall, I mean, Evans doesn't kind of. He'll do his little thing to try and put a plane. It's not somebody who'll get you 160, 70 metres. So that would be interesting because Jai, on the other hand, Jai is very difficult to, if he's whispering about, but he's not known as a natural carrier. I'd actually think Ryan Hall and Burgess might out-carry, and I'm sure Matty Pete might bollock me for stats, but the stats are the who's the London lad who plays for Wigan?
Michigan.
Yeah, it's him and him and Marshall, the Ryan Hall and Burgess. Again, you'd probably put, and by the way, I am a Liam Marshall fan. How anybody can bat above what he does for his size and his athleticism, he must have a heart like a lion because he is an absolute superstar. And we went there, Joe, remember at Wigan, and they loved him, didn't they? Within the culture, they were cracking jokes. They were right in the middle of it. He obviously is very well loved in that area. Interesting here, guys. Another one for Hull KR. You look at the way they play. And we know that they like to lead, and if they lead, they're very difficult to come off that because they'll just play it, and then they'll hopefully come up with some magic with Magic Mikey, May, maybe a Parcell pushover. But it's not like watching historically the other teams where they'll put points of play on. But as we know, guys, from the 2017 final, this will be a cold night at Old Trafford, a little bit of fog, 5:45, whatever the time is. The goal areas are very small, so the repeat sets are restricted. It's going to be wet. It's going to be absolutely sell out. So you look at all them feet. Do we need that much football? Is it all about the result, Jimmy?
Yeah, no, I think even your little point there about the goal lines, it does change the dynamics a little bit. I can't see anything but a low-scoring game. You know what these big games are like. Everybody's effort in defence is another level than they're able to bring out during the season because it's so important and they're all about those extra 1%. I can't. Will we get a little moment of magic? Maybe, but if I were guessing, I'd probably say no. I think it's going to be a real war of attrition, like most grand finals are. And it could come down to discipline. It only takes a lazy arm now when you're in the bin for 10 minutes. And there's so little in this contest. it could come down to that. If someone loses a man for 10 minutes and the other team capitalise, that could be the only give in the whole game. No one's taken a back step. I agree with Joe that the battle in the middle is going to be pretty even. I certainly think it's Wigan's toughest test in the middle they ever come up against. So I don't see anything but an unbelievably tight, low-scoring game if both teams keep their discipline.
Right, switching for Wigan, guys. Who's going to stop the young player of the year tonight? Who's going to stop December? Who's going to stop him, Joe? Joe, who's going to stop him?
Who's going to stop him? Well, it'll be up to, if it's on Junior plays on the right edge.
Batchelor.
No, it'll be Mike. Well, it'll be up to Mikey and Batch, won't it, as a combination?
No, it's the other one. It's May. It's May. He'll play on the left. December will play on the right. No, definitely not, Joe. Give me word. Plays on the left edge, and it'll be Hiku, May, and Batch.
Well, if he is playing on the left, I'd take that side to have a good go. May's actually one of the most underrated parts of May's game is that he's a very solid defender, very good tackler. Don't let many things go. Obviously, he's a big body himself. So if it's Batch, May, and that, I'd say that's your best edge to stifle in December, isn't it, Jim?
They'll go down that edge. I've no mistakes about it. I'm not to say I already know it'd be a bit blasé of me. Last time they played them, that's the area where they go. I've seen the hot spots. They go straight down towards Iku, May, and Batch, thinking that's the hot spot for Wigan. They'll try and get numbers there, and if they'll try and get Jaiquin round back in a bit, and they'll try and hit him there, there's no doubt, 100%. That's where, if you see the tries for Wigan, that's where they'll be headed. That's where I think they think there's some joy. Also, they'll get some gas out of them for bringing the ball back, hoping that I think Iku gets tired. Because Iku, to be fair, Iku these threats on the pitch. I'm surmising again.
He definitely pressed something. I don't know what he pressed. He's back.
Lads?
Yeah, you're back.
Are you there?
Yeah, go.
He's turning his
guys.
off.
Yeah, carry on.
Put the thing on.
Hello.
Press the button.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, Iku for me is a match winner, but I think they like to take a lot of juice out with him to not get him in them areas where he can really hurt him, because he actually is one of the 3 players for KR. Him and Jake Wardle's battle on that left, along with December, it's going to be sensational. If you said to everybody, Jake Wardle's the best centre in the comp, I'd probably say top 5 coaches would all say Jake Wardle, without a doubt. So you're looking at that edge of theirs, that left edge is where Jai comes in. If you're watching the semis, guys, I said to Matty, how many times did you try and get him on that pass where Jai comes across and hits Liam Marshall and they miss? And they would win for it a lot. So I do think that's a key area. And Jimmy can, again, for the fans, you've got Iku, Burge, May, Batchelor. You've got Marshall, Wardle, December, and Harry Smith. Who are you taking, Jim?
I've never seen a player get better by the game in front of our very own eyes than Junior in December. He just literally seems to get, young lads usually might get better over a period of 5-10 games at best. He just seems to get better every game. So I'm having him as man of the match. Never mind anything else. I think he is the main man for just making that difference. So I'm going to take Wigan on that edge, no doubt about it. I think Wardle, totally agree, best centre in the comp. December, they're probably one of the most exciting players to watch at the moment in the comp. But I like what you said about Hiku. I think, when I'm trying to work out what's going to happen here, Wigan's main advantage for me is the fact they've all been there and they've all done it. The occasion is not going to be too much for them. That they'll take it in the stride as much as any team ever can. But then you look at the UKR teams and which of the players have got the experience of big games in that side, and Hiku's one of them. You know, he's on par with anything any Wigan players ever done to an extent. So I think he could be really key for KR. Like you said, he's one of their main danger men, and he's going to be someone who's going to have to take a bit of weight on his shoulders to provide that composure. And they undoubtedly need a big game out of Iku. Like, he's one of the key players, I think.
It's funny actually, because I think Ryan Hall might have won more on his own than most of the team put together. So I know all he got asked in the semi-final to do a speech to the guys about winning mentality and where they're at with it. So I think Ryan Hall will be very important about the experience, because it is a young group which want to be together 2.5 years. So listen, we were all there in 17, lads, when Cass completely were the best team, dominant, and absolutely froze at the biggest level. They still tried to play the Cass way, and Danny and the Leeds lads just went, easy, this lads, kick chase, mistake. We're all over within 25 minutes. So I think it's a massive question, that, Jimmy and Joe. Can OKR get rid of the nerves? And there's probably 12 other players who've never played in the grand final. That's got to make a big. Jamie Peacock says you've got to lose one to win one. Yeah. What's your thoughts, guys?
Well, that's what I was leading at. I think that is, that is why Wigan have got the advantage. It's their dance floor. They've done it before. OKR are the new boys, and if OKR can handle that, and I get the impression, I don't know him like you do, but I'm sure Willie Peters and the team will be doing everything possible to try and make it as a normal match day as possible. But we know that's very hard to do. It is the big occasion. If the OKR lads and those young lads can keep the composure, we've got a game on our hands. If they can't, and it gets to them, I don't see anything but Wigan winning comfortably. But I'm confident they can, and I'm confident that those key, Ryan Hall, Hiku, a couple of others, even Parcells had a good few goes at it. That experience, they're going to have to really...
I think May's played in a few, hasn't he?
May's played plenty of big games. And I think that, but like I say, they've only got a few of them, and they're going to have to take a lot of pressure off, and the little conversations they have on the field with the younger players. If a younger player makes a mistake, they're the lads who've got to get straight on them, pick them up, pat them on the back, let's crack on. Because I'm sure there will be nerves. But there'll be nerves for Wigan. It's still a big game. They're favourites. It's a nice thing to go into a game like this as the underdogs. Like you say, 9 out of 10 people will say Wigan, and rightly so, all things considered. But that's the main factor, I think.
It's exciting anyway, because the game when they got the sin bins, I know both coaches thought people were talking bollocks. Both coaches thought, Wigan thought they'd won it anyway, and KR thought it had massive effect. So both will go into this game with two totally different beliefs, which I know that for fact, that they thought if they'd have got the roll on and that wouldn't have happened, they thought they had the game where they wanted it. Wigan obviously thought that didn't have a big occurrence. Joe, quick one before Jimmy, we let Jimmy go. Can the nerves get to KR being so inexperienced as it was with Cass? I think Cass had maybe one player, didn't there? Maybe two played in the final, and historically it all come undone. Even Powley had not been in that many finals. As a coach, as a player he had, it must be hard. Can Willie Peters, is this new for Willie v Matty Pete?
Yeah, definitely. I think games like this, you find out what players are made of, don't you? You find out if they do have if they do have what it takes to do this. It takes a special type of team. It takes a special type of manager. It takes, it's tough to win these games, and it's an unknown. I can't give an opinion yet because I don't know. I think we'll see. We'll learn a lot about the future.
And I think that'll be my last point, I think, before I have to go, I'm afraid. But if OKR can have a good first 20 minutes and start the game well and settle those nerves, then I think we've got a real game on our hands. I think we don't want, if we can get 1 or 2 scores up in the first 20 minutes while OKR are settling in, it'll be too much for him to do. If OKR get out of the traps, get an early try, or even just keep it 0-0 after 20, which is not uncommon in grand finals, then I think we're going to have a real game and a full Old Trafford to watch it.
Well, Jimmy, a quick one before you go. Is that Brett Delaney and Kenny Dowell? Well, obviously, I've got the experience, but then you look at Tommy Lulaway and O'Loughlin on the thingy, so you've probably got 10 grand finals apiece. It's fascinating, isn't it? It's fascinating
really
all the way. It's not on the field, it's off the field. OKR want to be the new power. They want to be the Northern Powerhouse. They want to take the Super League in the next 5 years. They've got enough investment to do what we're going to do. So these two are both big players. It's a big... I think the excitement for me is the fans. Who'll take the most fans? I don't know. KR is selling out. They reckon out.
Yeah, we've just opened the top tier in the Wigan end. We're on for pretty much a sellout with as many of each. And I suppose all the neutrals... There won't be many neutrals there who aren't supporting OKR, you know. So I think they'll be louder. They'll have it. And if OKR can give him something to cheer about in the first 20 minutes, then you might have a 14th man. But I'll leave you to it. I'll go.
We'll wrap up, Jimmy. Thank you.
I've given Joe my prediction. I'm going Wigan 16, OKR 8, June in December, man of the match.
Oh, big play. Well done, Jim.
But I do hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, you would do. You're from Lee. See you later.
See ya.
Yeah, Joe, I think what we've just highlighted there is, and we'll finish it, we'll try and finish it in the right manner. It's so exciting in all avenues. I think on the pitch, off the pitch, coaching staff, individuals, the best two players, George v Mikey, which they tried to promote in the semis, and it just didn't become about them two. And there's battles everywhere. I think it's absolutely fascinating. I think it's the left edge of Wigan, and I think it'll be... We haven't even mentioned Bevan. And again, are we saving the best for last, Joe? Is Bevan the greatest match winner in Super League history, really? Is he the Danny Maguire? Is he that level?
I think I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's at that level yet. He's got a couple more big games, but if he pulls it off this Saturday, certainly he's in the conversation of one of the greatest Super League, I guess, even players of all time. If he man of the matches it on Saturday and comes up with a game-winning try like he did in the semi-final, but wasn't as much game-winning, were it? But at least a crazy try in the final. Then he's got to go down as that World Club Challenge performance, one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. So I think I'm putting him up there. There's a lot of, I'd say there's a lot of pressure on Bevan. Jai's not been as dominant the last year and a half, has he? Like you said, Harry Smith's a very safe game managing half.
It's December Wardle, Joe. You'd say he probably got as much strike now as what Jai had. They'd be dangerous players.
But I'd say, like you said, on December, but then if that moment comes and it's that arm wrestle, like we've all kind of alluded to, that it's going to be a 6-6, 10-6. I think that one moment, I think for me, the winner of the game is the player who comes up with that one moment special, because they're both very high completion teams. They're both probably I think they are, I've not checked the stats, but I think they're the two best defensive teams in the competition. They let the least amount of tries in. It is going to be in an arm wrestle, a running to each other, a bit of play, but it's going to all be safe play. And I think it's going to be up to the Mikey Hiku versus the Bevan and Sember type of battle with Wardle in there, and whoever comes up with that game-winning moment, that one extra try away from the script of play, I think that's who's going to be a winner.
Yeah, I'm on the way, Jay. I think usually forwards win it. I think they'll get at it. I think OKR's way of getting yardage is outside backs into that quick play, maybe a little bit of shift with Dean and Elliott. But they're very dangerous. The guy in the middle for KR who scored about 5 tries. I'm sorry, apologies sometimes. Yeah, he's fantastic. I think they're dangerous. They do it a different way to Wigan, which Wigan I think are more old school and get there and Harry's boot. I think the forwards, whoever wins that 25-minute battle, it'll be ferocious. It'll be absolutely explosive. It'll be, as we've said, no sin bins. make sure there's no nerves, high shots can't be had. You know, you cannot get somebody in the first 20 minutes. I watched the Penrith NRL final, and we were shocked, Joe, weren't we, how much football were played. You know, he obviously gives them a license to play in good ball. I could not believe the amount of offloads, expressive rugby played by Penrith, because he has total trust in them to make the right calls. I don't think Willie does that with KR. I think that May's the one who's probably plays to no structure at all. I think Mikey does do. One thing about Mikey and Bevan, which doesn't get out there, they both defend each other brilliant. I couldn't believe when Mikey went against him last time and absolutely smashed Bevan about 3 times, and he gave Bevan hell. Bevan doesn't get the raps he deserves for being such a good defender. Big thing again off Matty Pete. He said they all talk about Bevan's play. They don't realise he spent half an hour not missing a tackle, defence so aggressive. Bit like you said about me earlier on, Joe. Very big unit, big body, so they can go at centres. They're not. I don't think any of the halfbacks are spot players. Usually in a final, they go for defending. They'll say run at the halfback. Maybe Harry. You'd say Harry's out at 4 of them. Would Harry be the one there? You'd be trying to run at Harry to get some yardage, to get the field position. I probably say so. But we talk about all the sexiness, but the defence of these halfbacks are incredible. Mikey's a fantastic for a young lad. He trusts his defence. He's so aggressive. If you watch with 10 minutes to go, this is where Mikey's going to be on the edge, hasn't he? He grabbed George, he grabbed Bateman. Bateman shoved him, and it all went off for a second. And I bet you when he's thinking, no, you know, we've got this match. Or did he think, well done, Mikey, you've upset Wigan's rhythm because they were coming back, and suddenly they all want to kill Mikey. I definitely think Mikey's got a big part to play with his personality on that game. 100%, 100 million %. But I tell you what, it's a lot for a young man at 22 on his shoulders. Because will May even kick, Joe? Does May even kick?
Yeah, he kicks, doesn't he? He does, but like I said, it's Mikey ends the sets. It's the same as thing. I'd say Harry finishes 85% of Wigan sets.
Good point.
It's the way the modern it's the way the Super League top teams are playing at the moment, isn't it? They're playing one half the more creative one, and one plays to more of a style. But KRs are interesting because they've got this. I see Willie's vision that Willie's gone different. He's gone safe, tough, ball playing, but ball running second rowers. You've got Batch and Tanginoa. Tanginoa's been unbelievable.
Well, Stozzer
off the bench has been unbelievable. You've got a full team of just tough running, good defensive players. And then he's just gone. My 2 halves in the Mavericks, and I'm not rather the rest of them are older and be very good. Hiku's got a bit more Maverick in there on that edge, but it's a very different way. He's gone 2 Mavericks. Like I said, kicking game's probably the weakness of KR in general. I'd say Harry's probably a better kicker than both Mikey and thing, but then Harry doesn't have that drop of the shoulder like Mikey has, and can't go 60.
It's weird, Joe, because a lot's been made of, and I probably disagree with you there. I think Mikey in play now is at Harry's level, if not above. But I think one thing I've know is that obviously Mikey gets critiqued a little bit about his conversion rate. His percentage is quite low. That's another lot of pressure on a young lad. That's why I thought at times in semi. You know, I don't know if I'd have took I think I love that Mikey kicks, and it's another string to his bow. But I think sometimes a 22-year-old kid who's got that responsibility, I'm not bothered who you are. I always remember Danny Maguire getting asked to kick for Leeds and Great Britain. And the famous one were Great Britain in Australia, and he didn't sleep. And he said to me, it would affect him like you won't believe, because he didn't feel confident in his kicking. And it absolutely wrecked his brain. That's why he never really kicked for Leeds again after kicked a couple of games, and he must have thought, not a chance. I often thought this year, would they take that responsibility away from him? You know, if you lost a grand final, they say, oh, Mikey's missed, you'd be like, well, that's terrible. He's been the best young star in the competition all year. You know, and it shouldn't be on that. It'll be interesting if Harry's boot on the tee is the deciding factor. If it were tight, which usually it is in grand finals. It's usually, we were there when Saints beat Catalans, Joe. We couldn't believe that Saints never threw it about. And then 73rd minute, Johnny Lomax does that grubber or whatever and they score, it's game over, and we're sat shot going, I can't believe what's just happened. That there was not much rugby played at any stage of that. It was just all the most ferocious intensity. I hope one thing, and this is the final bit. We've got the final we all wanted. We've got the fans we wanted at the biggest occasion. For the game and for Sky Sports and the deal, we need this to be the greatest spectacle. Let's top what the NRL did. I didn't think their final were a great final. I didn't think for once let's beat our own drum and say let's give them the most exciting game. I thought the playoff games have been simply sensational. That Saints Warrington game, I thought was just thing that I think everything's set up for one of the greatest finals we've ever seen. Let's hope the referee don't decide it, Joe. I know people say lately that sin binnings and penalties, and come on, referee, let it go a bit. Let a bit go. You did in the semis, you did let a bit go. And let's hope they all get the chance. The historic things is, Joe, you've got OKR, what is it? Are they saying 45 years? I don't know how many years, since 19 something. They haven't been in a final. In Super League history, they've not been in a grand final. They have Challenge Cup. They've never won anything, I think, since 70-something. You've got Wigan, who broke every record in the world. Could continue to do so, can't. So I need your prediction, Joe. It's time to put your ass on the line. I know you sat there in a cathedral somewhere in North Yorkshire. I know you've had some, religious things lately that you want to work out. And I think it's time for you to put your bum on the line, Joe. Give me Joe Harrison prediction.
Go on. I'll go with the one where we're thinking. I'll go 12-8 KR. Mikey Lewis, last 20-minute try, drops the shoulder, hands in the air, and we get a Super League legend on our hands.
Well, I agree. That's a show me thing. I want all. Listen, by the way, best luck to all the players. Selfishly, best luck to all the show me players. Hope you all get your dreams met off, and hope we all play. And we're there behind you. We'll be there, and the heart and the love is selflessly for our own first. A lot of time for Matty and Wigan. A lot of time for OKR. We're part of this OKR. I got emotional in the semis. We're part of it. You text me saying, Dad, you've done a great job here. You helped get this going. And, you share them moments. And I'm sure if I'm there Saturday, I'll be a bit emotional as well. But I won't be bothered either way. I think Paul Lakin said to me, you did tip us to win it. You've tipped Wigan. And he's been on at me. Because he said that. And for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been slaughtered, haven't I, Joe, for tipping KR to be in the top 4, now the top 2. I said this could happen. I suppose in a romantic way, you'd like to think, this KR can go and give them the game of their lives. And, do we always want somebody else not to dominate? Do we not want Wigan to dominate for the last 5 years, next 5 years? I think if they win this, Joe, with the money and the investment and the age of the squad, signing December for a 5 to 7 year contract, whatever it is, even though it's got a clause in it, that's a massive sign of intent. They've got the best young player probably in the world to stay at Wigan. This OKR for the North, v Lancashire, OKR have got to give this the kitchen sink. I'm the opposite, Joe. I think there'll be a lot of points. I think there's going to be some points. No. I think the penalties and the conditions will bring mistakes. And I think the occasion, I'm getting heart pumping now. I think I've been there, Joe, for 8 grand finals. And when you are there is not a feeling like when they're coming out. There's nothing. I've been to internationals. I've been to international football. I've been to Challenge Cup finals. Never do I get a lump in my throat like I do when they walk out, when that fog and the music comes on. And I think it's going to be an absolute collision, craziness. We're going to go through a roller coaster again. I think it's going to be mistakes will be more than what we think. And I think whoever capitalises on them mistakes will win the game. I'm going to go, I can't split them. I think it's going to go right to the wire. I'm going to go, and I'm going to upset somebody here, so I'm going to be careful because they're both very good friends of mine. So I'm probably going to bottle it, Joe. I'm going to go a draw.
and I'm going to go a sudden death penalty, and somebody will become an hero. I find it really hard to come out with something like that. I think it's that tight. Good luck to everybody involved. Super League's the winner, and hopefully we're there, Joette.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for the full 80. Sorry about Mick not being on. I think we've delivered a passionate plea for both teams and tried to be as fair as we can. And like we said, good luck to Show Me the Money players on the day. Hope you make yourself legends. Bye.